lang sa Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM. Dahil naniniwala kami na posible ang isang mas mabuting lipunan at maaari itong simulan sa isang kwentuhan. Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Want to find out more about the famed org community of the Ateneo?
Yeah.
Wondering what projects and initiatives our student organizations are currently up to? Curious to hear the perspectives and motivations of the different people that make up the org community? Tara na't magkwentuhan! Kwentuhang MVP takes you to the vibrant and passionate organization community of the Ateneo de Manila. Tune in every Friday as we catch up with our student leaders and our organizations and find out how they're continually pushing forth with their advocacies. Kwentuhang MVP, taking the MVP to you.
Radyo-Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo-Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo-Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, Kawan ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing hiding at igil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, Katipunan.
Mga Katipuneros, it's time to level up! Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Already all the best. Now, when we say all the best, we have them here on Level Up. And I'm talking this afternoon to one of the best people I want to talk to. Pagkausap ko siya, pwedeng tumagal ng napakatagal. At yun, parang kahit maiksi lang yung pagkausap ko sa kanya, parang tumitimo at may diin, may lalim palagi, may naiiwan. So, it's very good to be the first one to talk to him now because in a few days, a few weeks, we'll be watching his play, ang pagbabalik ng Mula sa Buwan. He is, nandito sa a dramaturg, a playwright, and a director for stage. Naka-qualify pa yung stage. But I know him to be a good friend. Direk Pat Valera. Hello to Direk. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, and it's nice to be back again after so long here at Radyo-Katipunan.
Yeah. I miss you, Direk, but I am able to talk to you like this. And I always look forward to talking to you because ang dami kong natututunan. So when you say dramaturg, we have to explain it to our listeners and our students. It's really someone who gives context, history. Di ba ganyan yung trabaho ng isang dramaturg? So, parang ikaw, yan yung tingin ko sa'yo eh. Parang isang henyong nagbibigay ng konteksto. At gaano ka-importante yung pagbibigay ng konteksto sa bawat ginagawa mo?
Well, siguro I'd shy away from the word na hen, I mean,
Sorry, but that's
always
how we see you.
oh, but always always an open observer and
Yeah,
listener, no? And those things are the qualities that I've always had wide-eyed
that's true.
that helped me not only to become a dramaturg,
Yeah,
yung nagsusulise
that's
or
true.
nagtatahe ng mga bagay-bagay,
Totoo
ng mga
yan.
scattered ideas para
Yeah.
maging isang
Buo,
not only
kabuuan.
watchable but understandable but clear
That's
clear
true.
story. So and always you were asking how important is context building, so much,
Yes.
so much.
Totoo,
Yes,
totoo.
yes,
So may
yeah,
pag-aaral yan ng kasaysayan, di ba? Parang
yes,
ikaw yung
yes.
nagbibigay ng konteksto sa mga tao o dito tayo nanggagaling. Kaya may
Mm.
bago tayong sinasabi. So, then we go to your second thing that defines you, a playwright. So, isang manunulat. So, ano halaga ng pagiging manunulat ngayong mga panahong ito? Kasi, di ba, with truth being questioned, with history being challenged, so, ano yung saysay ng pagiging isang manunulat?
I think I'll repeat what I heard and what
Mm.
Marlon Rivera just said, no. Um,
Mm.
Victors might write the history, but creatives write the future,
That's
no.
true. That,
So
ano yung tama sa'yo nun,
napaka-importante.
Direk?
Ano yun?
Ano yung tama nun sa'yo? Parang, tagus yun, no?
Agos, both happy and sad because yung pag we as people as writing the future, hindi lang naman yung taong nais magsulat ng mas maganda at mas makatotohanan na kinabukasan, yung alam na kung paano gamitin ito. Even on the other end, no?
Totoo.
Creativity is manipulated and utilized
Totoo.
powerfully, no, to present its own version of what should be accepted as truth.
Correct.
So
Correct. Correct. Correct.
so it's almost like a burden right now kasi before naman parang especially when artists think na we are powerless, now we evermore we feel na ay hindi pala tayo powerless, hindi lang
Totoo.
natin alam kung paano ipalaganap yung platform natin ng mas mainam and reach more
True.
people.
True.
But truly more than gold, more than guns, more than goons, um, art and art with its truth, no,
Mm.
and its ability has the power to shape the future.
Galing.
And yan yung nakalimutan natin. We feel so small about ourselves, pero ang
Totoo.
lakas-lakas pala ng
Totoo.
kapangyarihan na to.
Na magbago, no? Tapos doon, ang maganda lang sa'yo, you know your power, you're suddenly aware of the power of the platform, but you're able to transform it. Now, the third thing that defines you is being a director. Pero kakaiba na ito ngayon, di ba? Yung directorial work ngayon, at nakikita ko yan sa'yo, no? Mas collaborative na. Kasi dati
Yes.
parang ako ang Diyos, ang direktor ang
It's
Diyos. Pero kakaiba eh. Pero at ito, nag-multitask ka na rin, Direk. Ikaw, director, producer, playwright, parang lahat, no? So, gaano kaiba yung papel ng isang director sa panahong ito naman ngayon?
I think the director is not only the leader or the perceived leader.
That's
Sometimes feeling
true.
ng director
That's true.
solitary leader lang siya, no?
That's
But
true.
marami siyang katuwang na kasama
Correct.
sa isang production, no? Hindi
Correct.
nag-iisang director. Um, I think ang kakaiba ngayon din ay hindi na lang dapat niya tinututukan yung production. Will the production be great?
That's true.
Will the story shine? But
That's
now,
true.
more importantly, after coming from and still coming from so much unchecked pains and grief, no, from especially in this pandemic, kailangan very nurturing without being
Correct.
pandering ang
Correct.
isang direktor. Alam niya kung saan nanggagaling yung mga tao, yung emotions, yung bagahe at yung mga sakit at danas ng bawat tao.
Mm.
Um, Hindi na lang dapat siya parang, oh, let's just do it for the art.
That's
no?
true.
Very
That's
mindful of the people that you are with and knowing that especially the theatrical art, ang
galing.
pinaka-focus talaga niyan at pinaka nagbibigay ng buhay diyan tao, the actors.
Galing. So hindi lang yung produkto. You don't only see the end result but the process. At yun, ikaw
Mm.
yun. But the thing that qualifier dun sa first sentence to describe Pat Valera, nakalagay lang first stage, director first stage. Does that mean or does that just underscores your preference or your, I guess, your expertise, but you don't like mind being getting out of your box na yun nga yung stage.
Definitely, because right now, I always believe also in parang paying your dues or
Yes, yes,
knowing, no?
yes.
Ibang and I did try to for example during the pandemic went
Mm,
into another industry
mm,
doing a musical series.
yes.
uh, Marami pa rin akong takot with film kasi hindi ko alam yung language,
Correct,
no?
correct,
Hindi
correct.
or hindi sa hindi alam, I watch, I am
Yes,
a consumer of it,
yes.
a total consumer of it even. Pero when it comes to the technical and the philosophical and all of the important aspects of it, ang dami ko pa palang kailangang kainin. So, at alamin. So, hindi ko pa siya matawag na sarili ko na I am. So, I haven't done anything. But
Aha.
for the theatrical space and language, yun, alam ko na because I've been doing it for the past, 25
Inaaral?
years.
Inaaral yon direct? Or ikaw gusto mong magpakadalubhasa ba kung saan mo gustong pasukin? Kunyari sa stage, oo, aral mo na kahit ipikit mo yung mata mo, kaya mong gawin yan. No? Pero sa ibang medium, gusto mo talagang aralin at magpakahusay.
Because you want to be the best in telling the
That's
story,
true. That's true.
being clear with the story.
That's
And
true.
then now, but actually when I did it so I was deeply immersed with it for the past 2 years. Malalaman mo na, iba pala kaya pala pag sinasabi, masyado kang theatrical for film. No, because
Yes,
film is,
yes,
ito,
yes.
naka-box tayo.
Yes,
Diba?
yes, yes.
Naka-frame tayo. There
Yes.
is the tyranny of I call it tyranny, not for
Yes.
anything, but yung pala
Yes.
title, the tyranny of the director with framing.
That's
Then there is
true.
the pacing of editing, there is the sound, there is the color, there is the music, napakarami niyang bagay na
Correct,
it's so
correct, correct.
overwhelming. Like parang for me, it's so overwhelming kasi ako pag nag-direct ako, okay, let's block it, let's light it, tapos na. Syempre hindi
Uh-huh.
natatapos, 'di ba?
Correct,
But
correct, correct.
unlike pag shoot mo na siya, hala, babalikan mo pa siya the next day for so many tweaks,
Yes,
no?
correct. At
Just
ibang
for like
disiplina.
very much ibang disiplina, iba yung pag-aral what color balance works, why the mood
Correct,
is like
correct.
this. And more importantly, the history of cinema, no,
Yes, yes.
kahit the history of theater is like thousands and
Correct,
thousands of
correct.
years, but cinema hindi ko nga alam kung kailan siya truly nag-umpisa but the history of
Uh-huh.
cinema mas maaga kaysa sa theater, but it also has its own specifics, no,
That's true. That's true.
nuances, no.
Pero don't you feel lucky at this point, Direk? Kasi nga parang it seems like cinema's taken a back seat now and theater's the one so alive after the pandemic. Parang ako, swerte man naman na tipong you're able to dabble through these two worlds. Pero ngayon natatampok yung theater, yung pagtatanghal sa stage dahil hindi pa parang handa yung mga tao para bumalik sa cinema dun sa sinehan. Although digital is the way to go. So, ngayon pag-usapan din natin, no, parang na-blur din sa stage kasi now, parang it seems like nauso yung recording ng
Correct,
mga
yeah.
theater performances. So, what do you say about those moves now because of technology, no, and because of the pandemic also of the
Mhm.
times?
Well, for me kasi so within the theater, no, there is what I would call now core theater, no, which is a
Yes,
live
yes,
performance watched live by the audience
Yes.
present
No,
in
wala pa ring makakapantay, di ba? Parang
yeah, oo.
yun.
But
Pero yun na nga, pumasok na yung ganung teknolohiya, Direk. What can you say about it?
so there's been a debate na is digital theater or online theater still theater because now
Yeah.
it uses the language of film. Ako, I would
Mm.
say yes, it's theater but it's
Mm.
categorized in its own language. So
Ang
nasa
ganda.
lengguwahe yan eh. May mga so there is a
Ang ganda.
theatrical language, there's a
Yeah.
cinematic language, then may
Yeah.
umusbong na gitna, no? But
Yes.
there are
Yeah.
facets of online theater that of course will never feel that conversation of a live conversation. Like for
Mhm.
example, like this conversation we're doing it
Yeah.
through Zoom,
Yeah.
no? But there will be um there are times pag tayo nagmi-meet, no? Iba pa rin
Totoo, iba.
yung
Yes.
yung pagkakita ng nuances and that
Oo
conversation of the
yun.
unspoken, of the energy felt within the same room. So it's a welcome part of it, no? Theater should not be parang on its high horse and say na parang oh pag na-film kami wala na yung aspeto niyan. Theater
Mm.
should even be grateful, no? That while it was gone, there is this medium where it can
That's
still
true.
tell its stories. But and
That's true.
also more importantly, theater should always also see and realize that apart from the seats, no? Because we were always bound by our number of seats to
That's
watch.
true.
You can
That's
now
true.
explore and find it in different ways and different audiences, no?
That's true.
Suddenly, people can find us and watch us from Davao and
That's true.
Cebu and even Batanes, no?
That's true.
Where there's signal, or
Yeah.
even globally around the world, no?
Yes.
And then it just multiplies our audience and reach as
Audience
well.
and impact.
However,
Yeah.
to wish that it will have the same experience as live would be naive, no?
Yeah.
Because it will not.
Yeah.
So, yan yung mga kailangan tanggapin. But as with cinema, do I feel lucky that cinema right now isn't as it was before? I think that
Mm.
conversation is that there is a its own discernment with the growth of the
That's
medium
true.
eh. 'Di ba?
That's true.
Like yesterday, I wasn't part of the cinema I wasn't able to watch the opening of the cinema
Yeah.
we were rehearsing. But I'm sure it still gave that feeling of watching
That's
it
true. That's
together.
true.
But at the same time, I was at home, watching after rehearsals, I was watching Sandman Netflix. Sabi ko, "Ay, how lucky I'm watching it here in a bigger TV but wala akong ibang kasama."
That's true.
It's
That's true.
not true kasi for the theater, for experience ng theater, it's gathering, it's a conversation not only with you, but it's communal, no?
Correct. Correct.
And it's also being reminded of feeling alive
Correct.
because
Correct.
what you're watching or seeing in front is alive.
Correct. So you've mentioned, funny that you mentioned
Oo.
Cinemalaya,
So,
Direk.
ayun.
So you mentioned Cinemalaya, no? Cinemalaya has its parang original run at the CCP, but they will have parang Ayala Cinemas and SM Cinemas, and then they will go regional, and they will go even online. So, ang dami ng levels ng pwedeng pagpapanooran. You see that happening in theater, Direk?
Yes, definitely. I think we should, no? But of course, ang native knowledge namin is that staging it best, no? So, but at the
That's
same
true.
time, if we do it and when we do it, we should also involve people who are
Yes.
experts from the medium. Kasi
Yes.
hindi namin pwedeng i-point and shoot lang yan. Ang dami-daming
Yes.
kumbaga parang what can we learn when we shoot it? What can we learn when we update it? When we reach out, no? What can we learn from the filmic language that we
That's
can
true.
apply when we shoot it, no?
That's true.
So, yeah.
Tsaka parang no? Hindi hindi pwedeng yun na nga parang shoot yan during a performance, unlike before when you shoot concerts tapos yung pinapalabas sa TV na kasama yung mga audience, yun yung ipapalabas mo pag theater. Parang I think what you're doing now is that you're shooting it at a different day when there are no audiences yet. Ganun yun, di ba? Now, even Joseph the Dreamer, I heard, is being filmed that way.
Yeah, also yes, oo kasi well, ako personally no, when I watch pro shot with a specific audience in mind kasi like for example, when you watch it tapos may audience doon, you are watching it in a way na you are doubly distanced.
That's true.
Kasi pag pinanood mo, tumawa yung tao doon sa ano na yun, hindi mo tawa yun eh.
That's
Tapos,
true.
pagka parang may distancing ka pang nagaganap. So,
That's
these are the
true.
things that we can learn as we now know and learn how to navigate, how to shoot it, and what affects it best for the audience as well.
And what's good with you is that in your production now, in your future productions, you have that notion no, na you will document everything and it can run through different platforms. So you shoot it in a way, in a manner na may expertise pa din. So, yun nga, ganun ba ka-holistic yan, Direk? So, sa mga gagawin mong production. And corollary to that, because you're doing Mula sa Buwan again, and we're happy it's being staged again. It will open on the 26th, no? On the 26th. And then, Direk, paano yun? Mula sa Buwan was earlier staged as a block box, di ba? Parang yun yung tawag, ink.
Yes,
And now it's Barefoot. How different will those two companies be?
So, Black Box or BBX is
Yeah.
my advertising agency,
Yes.
which now I am a founding partner instead.
Yes.
So, after now realizing during the pandemic, my focus for this one is also to really more theater centered, no?
Ganda.
It's
Kasi
hard.
ito yung maganda diyan eh. Parang nakita mo yung pagkakaiba ng nature or merong pagtatalaban pero nakita mo yung pag-expand. So now you're able to concentrate on this new baby, yun nga yung Barefoot. Tapos
Yes.
parang nakita mo na ang daming pwedeng maganap, ang daming pwedeng baguhin from the former practice. And really talaga, really updating everything and being relevant. So tell us about your efforts in making this new theater group relevant up to its time. Tapos talagang answering the needs of the people in theater and even the theater workers. Yan naman na doon ako nabilib.
So, for Barefoot Theater Collaborative
Yes.
Inc., ETC, hindi ko namin alam
At may collab ka, di ba? Talagang collab.
Collab.
Yeah.
Hindi namin alam kung ang tawag sa amin ay Barefoot, BTC, or
Okay.
Footsies. It will depend sa audience. I can't mention now yet the other partners, but when they're more, kasi may
Yeah.
parang, may ganon. But we're 5 partners here. We're can I still say young people from the
Yes,
theater?
relatively, yeah.
A bunch
Or
of creative-
dynamic, young, the way you think, no, or the way you do things, no, young pa rin talaga. Go.
Yeah. We are creators, producers, people from a person more knowledgeable to with production, who banded together and to formalize a theater group wherein we can, as we dream of theater to return, what is that space that we want to continue? What can we carry from the past? What should we need to focus on as a present so that we can have a theater that is viable?
Ang galing, no?
So-
So nag-social analysis din kayo. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Ano yung mga hurts from the past na wag natin i-carry
Yeah.
forward.
That's
Diba?
true.
So, sometimes other people are proud, no? Na parang, this is our lineage, this is our heritage, dapat ito lang. So, it takes a lot of humility, like the pandemic, to say na, wala na kayo, ano pa gagawin ninyo?
Yes.
Diba? So, with us, number one thing is that we want to be people-centered. no?
Very good.
When you say people-centered, right now it's still the pandemic, no? And kumbaga, I would say that a lot of people went to a local talent diaspora from the
That's
theater,
true.
no? Migrating to different jobs, to different communities like film, etc. O sabi na we cannot ask them to go back to the theater for simply just for artistic fulfillment, no? Cannot be,
Very
no?
good.
Because people have to thrive and live, no? So sabi natin, paano natin na-address yun? Siyempre, you have to find what is a good standard or living wage for the actors that we invite. So paano natin gagawin yon? Eh dito taas na natin yung mga premiums na binibigay natin for
Very
people.
good. Very
So,
good.
so what does that mean? It means you have to work harder. You have to sell your show harder. You have to have more people. You have to make sure that you have to sell out for these things to happen. But at the same time, inisip din naman namin na hindi ba dapat job din naman pala talaga yon ng isang producer, to ensure that at the very core, the people that you involve are not only satisfied with the story that they put out, but also, they have a chance to at least for the season and for the engagement that they are with, to
That's
say
true.
that, with the experience, not only with fees or with with everything, but with the experience that I put myself here. Kasi we've been working for people for around almost 5 months, no?
Grabe, no? And everything's
Grabe.
valuated by a direct.
Yes.
Talaga. That's very good.
Yes, it's hard. It's kumbaga parang if we want to so when we rehearse, there are ample rehearsal fees.
Yes. Yes.
We up our standard fees and stuff. But even beyond it, no, it's creating a nurturing space
That's true.
for people to grow. It's hard. Pag
Hindi, parang ang
nag-crunch ka
ganda
ng
nga, parang it
numbers,
starts with artists are not mendicants. Ayaw mong pumunta doon na tamaan ka man ng pandemya, may dignidad ka pa rin na okay, merong naitabi or merong resources. Yeah.
or even kumbaga parang kung kasi 'di ba meron tayong palaging perception na I only go back to the theater not for money or
That's
just kasi wala
true.
namang
That's
pera dyan
true.
eh. Pero
That's
when you
true.
crunch the number, parang it's probably it's really the duty of the creators and the producers to make sure that there should be, 'di
Yeah.
ba? So, but
Yeah.
of course, it's and yeah, we also chose Mula sa Buwan as one of the
Ah,
plays because we know that it's one of the productions that can, get the audiences back, but at the same
that's
time, we
true.
know that it can, give returns for our people. So sabi namin, okay, what is right, what is due? Let's try to ask and let's see if we can do it. No, so
Sorry for the parallelism, but mula sa buwan maybe that for barefoot collab as to kunyari Rock of Ages is to PETA, for example, no? But the thing here is you don't have a theater to subsidize
that's
or
true. Very,
parang
very true.
yun walang ganong overhead. So
Yeah.
mas maganda you give it to the people para maintindihan ng mga tao, no? That's how
Yes,
you will
yes,
work.
oo.
So, yeah.
Yeah. We're also very reliant to with our venue partners. So, for
That's
example,
true.
at least with where we are right now, Samsung, they have been very
Samsung, yes.
generous, no, to
Yeah.
in-housing us.
And thank you
As
for mounting that opening show. Parang at least no kayo talaga yung Filipino, nagba-banner ng Filipino. I'll ask you that also. Does Barefoot now commit itself to like doing purely Filipino material?
We don't want to put, siguro that's our priority, but we don't
Yes,
want
yes.
to bar ourselves
That's true.
from the possibilities. Kasi at the core, syempre parang, wait, my dream musical is to stage Spring Awakening. no? Or
In Filipino. Ganun, ganun, lalagyan mo ng twist yan, di ba? Kasi
yeah, oo.
we would see Spring Awakening being like, kunyari, staged by Rep. Because now, let's play the field, no? Parang tingnan natin ano yung unique selling proposition ng iba't ibang theater groups. Parang pag sinabi mong barefoot, ano yung gusto mong maging tatak? Kasi kunyari, PETA, ayan yung makabayan, may advocacy. Di ba?
Yeah.
Ang halang Pilipino, nakilala sa translations, Filipino classics, ganyan yung gagawin. Tapos kung rep, ayan, yung Broadway, off-Broadway, etc. Tapos, Nine Works, ayan, nag-iba na, no? From the Filipino thing to ngayon, from the foreign musicals to ngayon Filipino. Ngayon pag sinabi barefoot, anong gagawin?
We want to do Filipino content, no? The
Yeah,
priority is
Filipino
Filipino
content.
content.
Okay.
With a clear point of view, kaya siya barefoot kasi nakayapak, 'di ba?
Okay.
That is a quality of us Filipinos,
Ganda,
yung mga
ganda.
Pinoy
Ganda.
nakayapak. At pag nakayapak ka,
And
you
feel
are
the ground, di ba? Yeah.
on the ground. So, and it also signals what's our point of view is that you are grounded, no?
That's true. That's true.
So,
Very good. Very good.
oo. Kaya lang sabi ko, nag-isip kami ng pangalan. Ano yung what could be Filipino in essence? That would get all of what we want. It's to be grounded and to uncover, no? Yun. So but apart from wanting to do Filipino works, and in fact we want to do more original Filipino works. And in Filipino works, it's not just musicals, no?
Yeah.
Ako, I would say I am a straight playwriter first.
Yeah.
For musicals.
Yes.
We also want to check into how can we navigate, how can we be more innovative about it, and see how to extend the stories. So whether it's online, or through music, or to be innovative lang as well. Yeah.
Pupunta tayo sa Mula sa Buwan kasi yan yung trajectory naman natin. But since ikaw yung kausap ko, ang dami-daming pwedeng pag-usapan. I'll go through your history, Direk, and then tell me about the things you've learned from these parts of your life, no? So your early works include Orasman at Safira sa dramaturg and assistant director sa Dulaang UP. What did you learn from that?
Grounding. So
talaga, ang galing, galing.
Together with Kate Sabate, with our dramaturg then, head dramaturg Anriel, we wrote Orasman at Zafira. So if you saw it, I did Act 2. Si Kate did Act 1.
Ganun pala yun, yung atian.
So, merong 300-page script, tapos how can you make it into a musical? Sabi ko, paano? So in terms of baptism of fire for dramaturgy, yung Orasman at Zafira, how to contextualize it in a yet in its own plane, but in a contemporary setting as well. But also but I was at the same time, siguro what I will learn, but siguro the best thing I learned from Orasman and Zafira is not just dramaturgy but to move, no? Kasi I'm not a dancer, but I'm an assistant director. So I had to learn all of the choreography.
Ang galing.
So because of that, natuto akong not to dance as
But to
on par
move.
with the great dancers we have, but to move.
Ang galing. Next, ang Kiri as a dramaturg and additional text. So what did you learn from that?
I learned the beauty of the zarzuela. No,
Yeah.
that was under the UP Zarzuela Festival, and with Angkiri, the beauty of the zarzuela, but also how it is how it is crystallized in time. So that's why doing it with additional text together with Sir Dexter, yung with the Sir Dexter directing it, me as a young scholar or student then, no, having that opportunity to break or defy yung toma or yung
Correct.
yung dula na nakaangat sa lahat was liberating for me.
Ang
Diba?
galing.
Kasi sabihin, 'di ba? Parang sabi ko, parang hindi gumagana ito. So kailangan lagyan ng additional text. But definitely the scholar in you will say na parang the student in you,
Huwag
hala
nang
ka, sino ka
galawin.
ba? Bakit mo gagawin yan?
Yes,
Diba?
yes.
Hindi ka naman henyo or national whatever, ganun. Mumultuhin ka ng nito. But yun yung
Galing.
kailangan para sa present play at sa panahon nung yun.
Tapos what determines sa zarzuela, what differentiates it is the posong, di ba? Yung patawa. So talagang kailangan ina-update yun eh. So yun siguro yung isa sa mga trabahong mahirap doon. Next, yung lulu. Ano yung natutunan mo doon na pwede mong i-share sa mga tao? Kasi gusto namin makita in the breadth of this interview, marami siyang natutunan na pwede niyang isalin sa mga tao.
Yeah. Lulu naman was that was Frank Vidikin's play, no? Same writer for Spring Awakening. Ang
Yes.
natutunan ko noon
Na-dream mong gawin. Na-dream mo palang gawin.
multitasking, because when I was doing
Oo
Lulu, I was also doing Sepang Loka and Dead Stars for Anton. Yun ang nare-remember ko na
Grabe ka.
I was...
Ano yun? Parang rubber band mo ba yan? Na tipong kailangan sabay-sabay para na-challenge ka. Yung tipong the rubber band mentality is yung talagang hinahatak ka sa iba't ibang sides and you're expanding.
Yes, but at the same time, you don't want to snap, no?
That's
As I did
true.
later
That's
on.
true.
Diba?
That's true.
Later on, but at that time, I'm thankful also for that one. It's not because I want to be the great here, but I was just so excited,
Fired up, yeah.
to discover, do all of these productions. I was doing what? There was a point in time I was doing 10 productions a year.
My God, slave.
Crazy.
My God, but you survived. So yun, Lulu, it was a realization na pwede mong pagsabay-sabayin, pero yun, parang pwede ka parang mag-focus, no?
Yeah.
Okay. And then yung ang muntik ng di mapigilang paghahari ni Arturo Uy.
Arturo Uy.
Uy, oo.
That's an adaptation with me, Kate Sabate, and Joshua Limso.
Yeah.
Brechtian.
Yan yung pinagsabay-sabay mo ba?
Ay, hindi ko na maalala. But I think naman may reprieve that year. May reprieve that year. So, that's when I truly dip my hands sa what is Brechtian.
Galing.
In terms of text. Trying to adapt, no? As what Brechtian concepts should be, no? It should be adapted to this present.
At least alam ng mga tao na inaral mo yan para pag brinik mo man yung kahit ano dyan, alam mo, malay ka. Di ba? Kasi marami iba nagbe-break ng mga rules at ng mga conventions nang hindi alam. Di ba?
And I owe that to now national artist Sir Tony Mabesa. Sabi ko, sir, I want to do this play. So I want to do this highly experimental play. I was like 19 or 20, ganun. I gravitated to experimental play. Sabi niya sa akin, break ka ng break, hindi mo pa alam kung ano ang babasagin mo.
Ang galing. Ang galing.
So sabi niya, gusto mong gawin yan, but have you done the classics? Have you read this? Have you read that? Alam mo ba yung theories nito, etc.?
Galing.
No? So
pag inaral, kailangan aralin talaga, no?
Yeah, kailangan eh. Oo, kailangan alam mo yung hindi ka pwedeng maging experimental just for the sake of experimental without or deconstruction without knowing what was constructed.
Correct,
diba?
correct. So at least that, no? Dami tayong natututunan. Next, yung Bagong Kristo, Direk. Tapos sinabi mo nga yung Dead Stars 1929 and yung Sepang Loka yun.
Yeah.
Parang this is your life, Direk.
For Bagong nag-flashback sa akin. And kasi just to share, we theater folk, we don't remember years.
That's
we only remember
true.
dates.
Yes.
with Bagong Cristo, that's where I discovered Aurelio Tolentino talaga.
Yes.
And
Yes.
really that's one of the plays
Galing.
that I want to write about in the
Oh.
future. Oo.
So
And
meron ka
title,
ganyan yung may look back na kunyari, this is my creative self, this is my critic self. Pwede, no? Nagagawa
yes,
mo yun.
I think what
Mm.
best works with me is I know how to compartmentalize
That's
myself.
true.
So
That's true.
really and the best thing kasi is that I know I never watch as a director, I always watch as an
Mm.
audience.
Ah,
Para
good. Good.
I always talk to people as
Mm.
as an audience. Nakikinig ba? So
Good.
whenever I watch a play, hindi ako or a movie or anything, hindi ako yung manonood na, oh, I'm a critic, parang gano'n. Yes.
Yes, yes.
No?
Ano yung tama sa'yo, di ba? Ano yung paano tumatama? Ano yung tagos sa'yo? So now,
Yeah.
yung Bulaang Laboratorio Art, kumusta ka doon? At saka yung Cloud Tectonics.
Art was a play that was one of the first mentions sa amin ni Gibbs Cady sa Diaryo. Yun yung unang time na na-Diaryo kami.
Okay.
Tapos, a
Okay.
school production cited one of the most promising something. Tapos, so tuwang-tuwa kami
Galing.
doon.
Galing, galing. Di ba yun na yung konsuelo ng ibang mga tao? Masite ka lang na gano'n, di ba?
Pero big thing yun nung ma-Diaryo ka before.
Correct.
Na-publish ka. Tapos, uy, makita
Na
yung
hindi
pangalan
press
ko.
release. Na hindi
Hindi
press
press
release.
release,
No? Okay,
oo.
correct.
And si
Yeah.
Gibston, of course, very respected, even now, is a very
Galing.
respected theater critic, no?
Galing,
So,
galing, galing. So next, yung yung Cloud Tectonics at Pulses, yan.
Pulses was well, Cloud Tectonics was together with Tony Perez, wherein we created a play that also changed it about sorry, na pala si Myke.
Oh, no, mamaya. Maghihintay mo na sila sandali. Pero, yun.
Was a
Habang
play,
share mo yung buhay. Okay.
ayun, na binrake apart ko rin. So, ang dami kong binrake apart pala nung bata, no?
Oh, yeah. At least now looking back at the things you did, no? And then,
Yes.
came Matiag, yung Matiag, and then yung Hacienda Animal. Tapos
Yeah.
yung Hoy Boy, tinatawag ka na hating gabi na gising ka pa pala.
Yeah. So in general, most of these plays are adaptations, but breaking the mold of these adaptations. Then, so when people ask me, or if now I'm more confident as a dramaturg or as an adaptation dramaturg, so I can say yes because I have so many plays,
Yes.
both classic and contemporary, that I have uh, worked on. And really, a lot of this is parang ang una kong tinatanong kung bakit namin binabali or bakit ganun. But why not just retain it? Because during that time, it will work best kung ganito.
Galing. So para kasi, yun nga, sabi mo, hindi mo lang basta-basta binabali, inaaral mo kung paano yung konteksto na naiba. So, well, we talk about a dear play to us, and my favorite doon ang Siwal play, Kaharian ng Araw, which you did. I was surprised because for me, I always wanted to mount this as a cautionary tale for those people wanting to get into show business. Sabi ko talaga kay Ma'am Charo, kailangan mapanood to ng mga tao. So, how was your experience in doing Kaharian ng Araw?
That play really made me stick to. So there are plays that made me love theater. So I saw it grade 7. So I saw it because of free ticket from grade school. Naglakad lang kami to high school and then watched it. And then parang I said na I want to do this, or it imparts so much the power of it, no. So when I first did it, we did. I'm not sure if we were the first to make a female casting. No, we did it in University of Asia Pacific, but then it was more of like mirroring what was done before. But eventually, when I did it again, we upgraded the set and music. I would say upgrade, but at the end of the day, the power of the play kasi also goes
Simplicity,
back to
no?
its simplicity. Oo.
That's true. Tapos yun, yung may nag-comment sa'yo, sabi mo, no, na, inuulit mo lang ba yung napanood mo nung bata
Yes,
ka?
that's true. That's true.
Ano yung tama sa'yo niyan? Kasi parang, oo nga, no, you should find the voice, your voice as a director.
I guess at that time it hurt, no?
Mm,
It hurt me kasi parang, siyempre brush tayo pag
that's
young.
true, that's true.
You think na parang at 21 you'd know everything, no?
That's true.
Uh, but then again, I was very thankful kasi I also listen, no? I was called out na wag kang mangopya. You have to find your
True.
voice. And
That's true.
finding your voice really takes not just a long time, but I realize, and this is what I can also probably impart to people, finding your voice takes time,
That's
no?
true. That's true. Hindi
Um,
nagmamadali. No, yeah, that's true.
or how can you find the
Maturity
voice?
too.
I'm 37 now, and I would say I'm only now. It's only in the recent years, in the last 3 or 4 years, that I am finding my technique. No?
Galing.
What
Galing.
technique means is that I am comfortable with my voice, that I
Aha.
can now find a framework around it.
Ang
No?
galing.
But
Galing.
before
Galing.
noon, I was just learning, unsure, ano ba ang style ko, ano ba yung voice ko, what do I want to say. It takes
Galing.
time, it takes history, no?
Galing.
It takes
Galing.
pain, no? So,
And if you are to mount kaharian ng araw now, how different will that be?
I think it will involve projections for me. It
Yes,
will
yes,
involve
yes.
something distilled in the modern, kasi the trappings that we have right now aren't so much in the physical space. It's so
That's
much
true.
in uh in another plane
That's
that
true.
we need to address. So maybe the simplicity is there. Andun siya in the different voices and stuff.
But indulge me, Direk, ha? The reason why I took interest in this is because I want us to do it as a tribute to Pagsy. Sabi ko nga talaga parang, it seems like, yun nga, cautionary tale for those people wanting to be in the business. And then, feeling ko mas pwedeng lagyan ng community. Yung theme ng Cinemalaya ngayon, parang, no, it's really breaking through the noise. Na in the end, pati pagkakaibigan, pati mga relasyon nasisira kasi dun sa ingay. So ngayon, paghahanap nun yung kung ano yung basic, ano yung mahalaga. So ano yung essential, tulad ng nakita natin sa Karya ng Araw. And I would dream someday, no? Tagahan mo to, babalik natin tong interview na to. I don't want it to happen sometime soon. So again, Moses, tapos ginawa mo yung zoo story, Taong Grasa, Madam Butterfly, at yun nga yung mga lobo tulad ng Buwan. So, all these, ano pa yung pwede mong i-share sa amin na mga natutunan mo sa paggawa mo nitong mga plays all these years?
Ugh. Uh, I'd like to share that I am not a serial writer, no?
Okay.
I write at least with what you call original, no?
Yeah.
The plays that I do, pag it takes so long for me to write the works, to adapt even. It doesn't happen quickly. Kumbaga sinusulat ko muna yan, these ideas, and I let it brew. Yung my play Symphony, which I hope to be staged next year or in a couple of years.
Yay.
It took me 10 years to write, no?
Wow.
May mga ganon.
So, may germination period, no? Mang ganon?
Sorry?
May germination period, yung tipong kailangan mo pang i-test or kailangan palipasin
it just,
yung oras.
it,
Ano ba yun?
ako as a writer, may hinahabol akong pakiramdam. So,
Okay.
some writers, sinasabi ng mga ibang teachers, dapat hindi. Dapat prolific ka na magsulat everyday. Pero kasi ako, I need my music, my space, my quiet, and then, hindi naman yung parang marubdob ng feeling, but that clarity.
Yeah.
That clarity.
Yeah.
And then, usually I write in Sagada. Sa Sagada, oo.
So may ganon. So hindi ka vendo machine. You wanna say to people na hindi talaga.
Hindi eh kaya well one of the things that I've learned too is that the muse is my great deadline one of the is my true deadline no so
Okay. So
oo
hindi ka mapipwersa sa mga bagay na hindi mo gustong gawin or may sarili kang ritmo, parang gano'n, Direk.
that's true
Okay.
oo
Now, before we go to Mula sa Buwan finally, we talk about Dekada 70. I know it's very special to you and our relationship to with Walhati Bautista is very special also. No? So, why not this as a first offering for Barefoot Theater? Lalo na that the times call for it. Or sabihin natin, uy, delikado ba? Or parang ano ba yung challenge dito? Or una muna, ano yung natutunan mo sa pag-mount mo ng dekada 70? At buti na lang na-mount mo. Tapos ngayon, sa paggawa mo ng isang bagong theater group, bakit hindi to yung first offering?
well when we were thinking about what to lay out no the first offering is also it's coming from the idea na nanggaling tayo sa walang theater
That's
no?
true. That's
And
true.
when we were planning all of this, iniisip namin, okay, what are we about to confront right now?
That's
Uh,
true.
wala pa namang elections nun eh.
Yes,
So
yes.
we were thinking, oh, Mula sa Buwan, it talks about the theater. In fact, the opening of a theater, 'di ba?
That's
So it
true.
it must be a nice homecoming and celebration to have.
Yeah.
So when you're,
Yes.
you're plotting it out, definitely it should begin with Mula sa Buwan. And
Yeah.
syempre, there's also a security with the play, no? Now we know that these are the audiences will return for this production. Kasi hindi namin alam noon, babalik ba sila o hindi? At
Yeah.
least with this
Yeah.
one, okay sila.
That's
Uh,
true. That's
Now
true.
with Dekada, it's not, and with Ma'am Luwalhati, of course, it's not something that we perceive not to be staged, no? But at the
Aha.
same time, we especially us also building the theater pa rin, must be
Yes.
the word is not afraid, no?
That's
But must
true.
be mindful, no?
Yes.
Mindful. Kasi
Of the context, no? Of the context now.
we're not afraid about the context of the play, eh, no? But we're afraid of
The
what
forces that are
the
here.
forces, no?
Yeah.
Of that one kasi ang as theater folk, ang inaalagaan mo ngayon hindi lang naman actors but also your
That's true.
audiences, 'di ba?
That's true.
So it's not as if it's not gonna be staged anytime soon or never
Galing, galing, galing.
because it should be.
Galing. Kasi
Oh.
sinabi pa, yung una natin sinabi, no, yung mindfulness, not only for your actors, not only for the people that work with you, but even the audiences. Tama nga eh. So even if you
Yeah.
film then your productions, di ba? You also are mindful about the audiences.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Siguro to close lang for Dekada, I think when one of the things why we also like Mula sa Buwan to start, no?
Mhm.
Because now as we'll talk later on about Mula sa Buwan
Yes.
with actors, it's
Yes.
also uh, parang it also navigates pain, no?
That's true. That's true.
And not just from the pandemic, but we are confronted with lots of pain.
So it's coming from that context that we came from, no? Pag galing doon talaga, pati yung pag-ROTC, di ba? Yung 1940s ng Manila na pag-ROTC, uy, merong context yan ngayon, pati ngayon, binabalik yan. So nag-full circle yung narrative ng Mula sa Buwan. So now, well, we end with that. No? After dekada 70, Direk, bakit nga itong Mula sa Buwan yung napili yung parang maiden performance or maiden project ng Barefoot collab?
Well, like what I said, when we were thinking about a play that we want that represents our point of view, no, original Filipino works, or Filipino works, no, with a clear point of view, and also what is a play that we want that when the theater opens is we know sits with us well, no, Kasi we can do different productions, but we wanted to do something that celebrates theater and art as well, no? Mula sa Buwan is the best one. Of course, again, the audience, they're there. There's more security to it, no?
That's
Parang parang mas secure kami na hindi at the very least it has a 10-year history.
Yes.
Secure na naman kami doon. However, tinanong mo ko,
Yeah.
bakit why Mula sa Buwan?
Ano yung
Anong
relevant
magbabago sa Mula sa
True,
Buwan this
that's true.
time? So we had to check on ourselves and what me personally as well.
Yes.
What works, no? Does it still apply for today, no? So meron na nga kaming security noon na it might okay na yun bumenta na, okay na. 'Di ba?
That's true.
Pero si Noel Ferrer tinanong kami, what's gonna be different right now?
There's got to be something more, no? Para kasi tatanungin, magle-level up dapat. And again, the themes of love and defiance. And we'll ask that of the people here, our friends here. Hinintayin na natin. Ako, may may nagdidivang fee Palmos. Na wala
Alam ko, nagdidiba. Wala.
Oo nga. Kasi natisod siya nung opening ng theater. So, we want to welcome our friends here. They're here now. Hintayin natin si Fino. So, we have Myke, Salomon, Markki, Stroem, and Gab Pangilinan, our favorite people, here with us. They can turn on their cameras already habang hinihintay natin. Hello, Markki. Hello, Myke. Galing naman.
Umaga.
Hello, Gab. And then habang hinihintay natin ang nagdidiva pang si Palmos, no? So now we talk about love and defiance, and that's the overriding theme of this play. Mula sa Buwan. Sabi nga ni Pat kanina, ni Direk Pat, it had to be this one kasi number one, may steady audience, and then parang nagre-resonate pa rin, lalo na sa pagbabalik ng teatro. Nandun yung takot, pero dahil meron nga, patuloy pa rin yung pagmamahal, yun nga yung love. And that defiance and that bravery, I guess, the bravery of the soul na pinapakita ninyo. Why plunge into this now despite the COVID reality? Una muna, Myke, ayan, from Joseph the Dreamer, you've experienced this. Mag-opening night na rin lang, biglang, maka-cancel tayo. Parang, what did that teach you?
It taught me how to that day it taught me how to
surrender.
No, it prepared me to rehearse and be cautious with my life every day.
That's true, no? That's true, no? Kasi di ba parang you're also prepared with a standby SRO audience supposedly on that day.
Yes.
So dapat talaga kayo nun. Tapos biglang ito palang nangyayari. Well, the other people in production were saying, ayun, don't look don't look down. Yun ba yung sinasabi?
Never look down.
Never look down. Yun yung sinasabi nila. Pero yung dating sa atin is parang kailangan tayong magpursige sa teatro, di ba? So, Myke, anong naramdaman mo nun? You were about to open, and then yun nga, hindi natuloy. Tapos may susunod kang produksyon na Mula sa Buwan. Ano yung pwede mong sabihin sa kanila? Huy, dapat ganito.
Yeah, on my way to BGC that day, yung opening night. So, on the way ako dun mga 4 o'clock. Tapos,
Yes.
I just found out na may isang cast na positive. Tapos,
Nakakakaba na, no?
well, yeah. Imagine production week yon. So, araw-araw sila magkasama for the past week. Tapos, magkakadikit sila and also, doon pa lang, there's one. Okay. So, pumasok na yung swing. Kasi nag-prepare na yung swing. Tapos, after ilang minutes, meron na naman nag-positive doon sa mga test. Parang isa-isa sila. Para kaming Squid Game. Na isa-isang nawawala. Parang ganun.
Okay.
Parang, tapos si Pau was panicking na. Tapos, okay. Tapos, Carlo Orosa. Tapos, Paulo V was like, he was asking me sa text na, Mike,
What if?
can you do Pharaoh? You're the only one who can sing it. Ganun. What?
Oh,
Parang no.
we are defined by the things we say no to also. At least you said no to that.
Parang,
Well,
no, I will die. I will surely die in
so
battle.
what was that, Direk Pat? Yun parang, kasi people were saying, dapat may film or TV like, Markki has done that, no? Nag-film siya during the pandemic, na parang lock-in din sa mga ganitong theater productions, no? So what's the lesson to be learned from that, Direk?
Well, of course, we opted for we had a variations and plans for that, and we can
Yes,
still do it if needed, no?
Consideration.
Correct.
It's still like, for example, yun. But like, for example, navigating film and our safety officer, we're always guided by our safety officer, by the numbers, and then by a medical community.
Yeah.
So right now, tinatanong namin kasi syempre there might be like an increase right now, but it's nothing compared to the 100,000 or 50,000 per day that we were having.
Na nasa
So,
ospital, no? Yun.
sa hospital, high occupancy.
That's
There are like
true.
different variants that we have right now that's affecting the spike, but 2,000 is far from the 50,000 a
That's
day, no?
true.
Na
That's
nag-start
true.
yung
That's true.
Omicron.
That's
Diba?
true. So we're nice talking about it now kasi even the viewers would be enlightened, no, dun sa pagpapanood nila ng production nyo. Gab, I was in touch with your mom during those times kasi kapapanood pa lang namin ng performance mo dun sa opening ng theater. Tapos lumapit sa kanya si Audie about, mag-open na kami this weekend. Tapos sabi ng mama when she texted me about that thing, sabi niya, there should be also a similar lock-in type of an arrangement. So, doon. So, how did you feel about that? It would give you more protection, I guess, no? Or more security.
A way. Actually, sa planning stage pa lang, it was strongly considered
That's
that
true.
we would lock in. But at the same time, we also considered that like there are people who are bubbled naman talaga. There are other people
Yes,
that prefer
yes.
to go home kasi mas nakakapagpahinga ka pag nasa bahay, di ba?
That's true.
So
That's
there
true.
are just so many factors that were considered. And then we compared na parang the past weeks we've been rehearsing for maybe 2 months already. Parang wala pang nagkakahawaan. So we were thinking also na maybe there's something right with the protocols that we were doing kasi we would have weekly testing and then everybody was also sobrang maingat yung mga tao sa isa't isa. So like the trust in each other medyo ang tindi din. So it's not that we're not worried because everybody's still praning. Pero yun din talaga yung safety precautions then like with how Jamie Wilson, our ultimate safety officer, na parang siya talaga yung parang it also all depends on your self protocols kasi. So kung maingat sa sarili mo. So yun, we're just go pa.
Yes,
If
Direk.
I can share, Noel, no? I haven't seen in 2 months in the run their faces. 27 yung cast. I haven't seen I only direct based on their eyes and movement. So ganun kami ka-strict. Yeah.
Ganun pala yun.
So,
Pero Gab, ang ganda lang, no? Parang you're looking at it na ibang lens na rin as a co-producer, di ba? Kasi multitasking kayong lahat. Parang ang ganda lang na may stake yung mga artista dun sa mga ginagawa nila. Kasi you consider all those things, even for the audiences.
Kasi actually, we all just really want to be able to do the show. So even when JTD, alam mo yung everyone was rooting for JTD kasi that was like shortly after the launch. So kami, nasa high pa kami ng launch. Tapos biglang, as in we greeted them pa, tapos biglang hindi sila naka-open. So parang kami din yung hindi nakapag-open. So sobrang lungkot namin nung mga araw na yun.
Even the CCP production was postponed, right? And then eventually.
Yeah, even the CCP production. So lahat kami, we were
morale
all
was
just
low.
rooting for each other to be able to do the show. Kaya rin siguro ang taas ng stakes when it comes to
Galing.
Yeah.
Kasi parang at least kita mo yung buong community one, no? Parang
Yeah.
in like rooting for one another. Now let's welcome this person who just like had a major vacation. I follow him on
yes.
social but has been so prolific and did a lot of things during the pandemic. So Markki, paano ka hindi nag-positive or nag-positive ka ba along the way?
I think I was positive on the first year, like literally beginning
Okay.
of 2020. But then after that, I was, I think, very, very vigilant with my vaccines. So I really had both vaccines, and I also had something to boost my immune system at all times. Like, for example, yesterday after rehearsals, I went straight to my clinic because I have a clinic. I had a vitamin drip because I was already feeling a little bit under the weather. But then, I always get myself
Then
tested.
documented ni Markki, di ba?
No, yeah. So, so I always get myself tested on a regular basis to see if I'm okay. And I try to just go straight home after work because I also have radio in the morning and then
That's
straight
true.
to this. So pagod na ako pagdating ko sa bahay, diretso tulog. And the
That's
next day
true.
I do it all over again. And
That's
it's tiring, but it also really just keeps me from being around too many people.
That's true.
And it's also to protect everyone around me.
Talk about being prening in the different projects that you did, no? Kasi sa paggawa ng pelikula, di ba ganun sila ka prening? Yeah, kasi
Oo. Super.
paggawa ng teleserye.
Super locked in kasi kami normally. Well, the previous series that I did, we were locked in for weeks on end. During those times, bawal din kami lumabas. So, kunwari, yung my delivery girl sa Baguio, bawal kami lumabas sa hotel. So we had our own little bubble safety protocol, which I guess I am using in this context as well. It's very similar yet different because this is a really prolonged period of time as opposed to just the usual back in TV where it's just maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks if we're doing 10 episodes. Yeah.
That's true.
So, pero sa Europe, walang safety protocol. So,
Totoo yan.
Medyo natakot ako.
Bukas lang ni Joanna ang PL ng South Pacific, kita-kita mo yung mga tao. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman sila doon. Ang Korea, nagtuloy-tuloy pa rin naman ang production sila. No? Dito lang talaga parang maganda na rin that we're cautious. No?
Yeah, very, very true. Pero it's also scary kasi it's not just COVID that we're worried about. There's a lot of other things that have been spreading, including monkeypox. So we just all have to watch
concern
ourselves.
Mo na yan, Markki. Hindi naman yata concern ni Gab at saka ni Myke.
No, it's
galing abroad.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I actually just got tested as well for it because it takes a few, and I'm negative. So it's very important. Yeah. It's very important to always get yourself checked, especially in these trying times. I'm super hypochondriac, super praning about certain things.
You are.
So every little thing that's happening, I'm sure Pat was watching me. I'm looking at what is drone lang pala yan. Certain things and it's just scary for me because I'm not just scared for my own well-being. I'm also scared for
others.
this amazing cast as well. And I've seen everything that they've done for this show. So but technically this vacation that I went on was very special for me because I got to see my grandmother in Norway. She wasn't feeling well. So I told them before I started rehearsing that I was like, I need to go and see my grandmother. And fortunately I got to see her because she just suffered from something that I can't really talk about. And fortunately I was there when she was still walking around. And I'm just so happy that I was just so happy that they were able to. I was able to go over there and see them. And thank God, wala akong dinalang sakit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think maraming baon si Markki. Marami siyang pasabog.
Sorry.
Kasama mo. And you were talking about the amazing cast. and it had to be adjusted, and it had to be the three of you there. So, can you talk about the process, Direk? Paano naging sila? Kasi, well, of course, I saw si Boo, si Gab, at saka si Myke in Ateneo. Tapos may variation pa yan kasi merong second cast si Nico Manalo. So, what happened there sa calisthenics, sa pag-iba ng mga role assignments?
That was when we remember Mula sa Buwan, you have to recall that it was like 4 years ago.
That's true. Parang hapon lang.
Yeah, pero parang habol lang for all of us. No? But it was 4 years ago, and then at the same time, there's a pandemic in between. But even then in 2020, we already had the vision. Now, how can we make a final or the last version na kami at least
last version na talaga. Okay.
Writing it, and then in terms of like writing, in terms of like music for Mula sa Buwan. And then pa lang 2020, I already asked Myke Salomon to be the MD. But particularly for the cast, no, wag nating kakalimutan na pagbalik mo ng 2021, 2022, trying to look for a cast, hindi na kasing taba ang pool of people mo from the theater.
Kinabahan ako dun sa taba. Anong ibig sabihin? Okay.
But definitely, so we had to cast, audition people from ito na po, ito na.
Ayan na.
Speaking of.
Ayan na.
Sabi ni Fee Palmos, basta magka-cast ka, ako pa rin. Hindi pwedeng yan.
Correct. So anyway, so hindi ganun kasing taba, pero well, you had to go back to the basics, no?
Yeah.
Effective na yayakapin ng mga tao.
Yes, I'll be honest, no? Only Gab was the only parang person to carry in mind.
Oo naman.
Alam naman yan. Even Myke had to audition in a way, no? Markki auditioned as well for the play. No? So we all went through that process of auditioning, no?
Direk, ikaw yung pasasagot yan. What happened to the others? Like kunyari, what happened to Boo? What happened to Nico? People ask that. To Edward?
Yeah, I guess they all of us are in different trajectories or in different places right now.
Okay.
Whether we are with there are a few theater plays for this year. And whether they would pursue theater for this year or look into other streams depending on our mind and heart spaces as well.
From
Let's
the
go to
original
Gab.
cast, 7 lang ang bumalik. 6.
The original 6 lang kayo.
From the 2018 cast, only 6
6
came back. Yeah.
So Gab, how important is Mula sa Buwan to you? Kasi ang dami mo ng roles na pwedeng gawin, no? And ang dami nang nangyari sa iyo. Parang ganoon, parang kung pagpapalawak lang ng theater history mo, parang pwede ka na mag-move on. Pero this one, binalikan mo. So why so?
Actually, there are certain roles, I guess, na parang that babalik at babalikan mo din talaga.
Ay, ang ganda nun. Parang sinta lang, no?
Yeah, parang sinta.
Yeah,
Parang, because you know how Mula sa Buwan, it's a timeless piece pa lang. Yung kwento niya, lalo na with the new edits, with the new scenes. Parang it's such a timeless piece that could speak to so many people. So, siguro in the past years, ako personally, bitin ako sa unang run eh. Because the first run of MSB was in my first run of MSB was in 2018, and it was sandwiched between Sideshow and Ang Huling El Bimbo. So because it was sandwiched between those two super major productions also, ang hirap
magbigyan ng spotlight. Totoo, hindi nabigyan ng spotlight ng masyado, di ba?
Yeah, ang hirap maglinger kasi it was there. I enjoyed every single moment of it. But we only had less than 15 shows. We had 12 shows maybe or 13 shows. So parang for me, for all the work that you put into a certain show, to do only 2 weeks of it, bitin. As in, sobrang parang, alam mo yung hahanapin din talaga ng katawan mo na makwento siya ulit. So that's why when Pat was saying na he really planned to rerun ganyan. We just didn't know when because of the pandemic. Parang for me, medyo, syempre gusto ko siyang makwento ulit. Lalo na with everything that's happened the past years. Siguro, coming back to it with fresh eyes and with like a new perspective, I guess. And ang dami natin natutunan, lahat tayo. So parang coming into it, there's just so much more you can say with this musical alone. So
you don't mind being identified as Roxanne in your theater life?
Oh,
Parang kumabet sa'yo as a character, no?
Oo naman. Parang for me, every role na I haven't played a lot of roles. So parang the roles that I have.
Hello.
Hindi pa masyado, Tito. As in, for me, parang personally, I feel like that's why when people say, minsan kasi may mga comments or mga what na parang, siya na naman. Tapos parang ako, guys, parang simula pa lang ako. Wait lang. As in, kasi nga, ilan pa lang yung like, the truly, I don't know, memorable or at least super important roles to me. Ilan pa lang yun. Like, there's Joy, there's Stacey.
Hello, puro iconic kaya roles mo.
Iconic, kaya lang may ibang nagpe-play ng yung role na yon kasi. So, ano sa'yo? Sige, maganda to, no? Pagbalik mo ng theater history mo, ano yung nagtatak at gusto mong tumatak bilang accomplishment ni Gab? Probably sideshow yung isa, no?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
I mean, for me kasi, yan the big three. Hindi kasi nga, it's one after the other.
Okay.
Parang it was Daisy in Sideshow, and then I went straight into Roxanne in Mula sa Buwan, and then right after that, it was Joy in Ang Huling El Bimbo.
Yes. Kasi yun doon ka nagtatak. Parang ikaw yung maalala. Kasi marami mang gumawa ulit ng role na yon. Parang sasabihin nila, nakita ko si Gab sa iba't iba pa, pero ito yung tumatak. Let's go. Well, okay.
Sorry. Hindi, ako naman parang, it doesn't, parang hindi ko rin masyado iniisip kung anong kailangan tumatak. Pero more like, I'm just grateful na I have the opportunity to tell the stories of these women or these characters.
Ang bait naman nun, pero alam mo in your heart na dun ka nag-connect sa mga tao, no?
Oo. Pero sana dumami pa. Yun. Yung parang ayokong tumigil siya. Ayokong tumigil siya doon.
Yes.
Yun
Pero now with a different lens as a producer, di ba? Kasama ka sa pag-create nung pagdami pa, di ba?
Yeah.
Yun ang maganda doon.
Yes.
So Myke, balik tayo sa theater history mo do. Ano yung sa'yo nagtatak? So, you've played, okay, magsimula ka, nag-Aida, nag-Godspell, ang dami pang iba. Haring Lear, Rock of Ages, Care Divas. Ano yung tatlo? Sige, top 3 na simulan na ni Gab na nagtatak.
Feeling ko the past decade.
Talaga. Parang naging...
Parang nga na, kasi I started being active in theater again ng 2011.
Yes.
Magsimula ka was end of 2010. So basically, 2011. So from there, parang ang tumatak talaga from that decade is Care Divas nga. As in,
Care Divas, yes.
medyo parang I was identified as that Palace
The lover.
Yes. So,
and then,
I think playing Christian was really memorable for me. Ayun. So, ayun.
This one.
Yes.
Hindi ka ba conflicted na you'd rather be Christian again versus Cyrano?
Well, I did Joseph the Dreamer naman, so it felt really Christian too. So,
Ano ba?
What a punchline. pero iba to, no? Iba na to. So, should I ask
feeling
Direk?
ko hinahabol talaga ako ng Christian kasi I'm the musical director of the anniversary of Christian Bautista.
Nakakainis. Pero hindi ka anti-vax.
Hindi naman.
Okay. Buti naman. Kasi yun nga, parang isa yun sa mga nagsisave sa atin during this, during this
Pro-vax
pandemic.
ako and pro-vax.
Sige na. At natuwa si P. Palmos na nandito na ngayon. P, kumusta ang pagkakadulas mo sa sa Samsung Theater?
Yun talaga ang yung pagkadulas ko talaga.
Nagtatak naman yon kasi ibang klase yung pag-recover mo agad-agad. You recovered your bearing agad-agad. Sophie, sa dami din ng roles mo at sasabihin din ni Gab, hindi naman marami yung roles ko, parang ganon. Pero bakit kailangan balik-balikan itong Mula sa Buwan?
Ano ba? Kasi, well, ako personally, malaki siyang bagay for me dahil yung role na Rosana is traditionally played by a woman.
Yes.
And in 2018, it was the first time that, it was given to, to someone like me, part of the LGBTQIA+ community. And it's also, tawag dito, alam ko kasi na yung binigay siya sa akin, malaking bagay siya. And every time I go on stage, I perform on that stage, alam kong may maliit na batang bading na nanonood at alam kong sinasabi niya every time I go on stage na it's possible for me to be who I am, to be in a role, and it's okay. Alam ko, so ganun siya kalaking bagay sa akin. There's an impact to the role nung ibinigay siya sa akin. So, hindi lang siya, oh my God, I'm playing, ganun siya, I'm playing a girl, diba, nung start. But, yun, mas lumaki siya nung lumaki eh. Alam kong malaking bagay siya sa mga batang bakla na nakakapanood. And, it really did. Hindi lang sa mga batang bakla, but sa mga
humanize. Oo.
Yes, that's
humanize yun. So, well, more than your Rock of Ages, Tien?
Iba naman yung Jewel because yung Rock of Ages is, alam mo, if there's one role na babalikan ko that started everything for me, it's Rock of Ages.
Of course.
And for so many people, akala nila ang tagal-tagal ko na sa Cheddar nung Rock of Ages. Pangalawang professional production ko pa lang yun. Na parang pangalawa ko lang po.
Parang di ba si Lea Salonga, di ba? Kala mo, si Lea Salonga, hindi, ang tagal niyang ginawa yung Miss Saigon.
Grabe naman yung
natin yun.
Yun.
At ang background mo talaga, tanghalang Pilipino, di ba? So, yun
kasama ko si Myke. Kasama ko si Myke sa first professional production ko sa Ibalong.
So, yun nga, parang sa dami nga nung mga theater companies, dami siguro ng theater companies, pero hindi dami ng production din na pinagtrabahuhan nyo. Parang it seems like, isang realization, hindi nga ganun karami, pero nagtatak. Yun lang siguro. Yung hindi sa dami ng ginagawa, kundi yung nagtatatak. Yes, Myke, go.
Yeah, I mean, parang it mattered. Parang kung bawat ginagawa mo dapat nagmamatter sa mga tao. I don't know.
Yes.
Totoo. And that's a lesson to you also, Markki, no? Parang now, it seems like dapat mo alagaan yung theater outputs mo talaga.
Yeah, it's very important.
Even your filmography, Marks.
Yeah. It's I mean, I guess I've been incredibly fortunate to have worked with so many amazing people and amazing directors throughout the years. I mean, I've been in the industry now for 12.
I saw Markki's first production. I wasn't even in theater.
Parang napanood ko lahat ng mga ni Markki.
Yeah, well, my if we're going to do my three tops, it would probably be there next to Normal, because that was iconic with Tita Menchu and Jet Pangan. I learned so much from each and every single one of these icons.
And you were amazing.
It was so much better than the original cast record.
Grabe. As in, it's your promise. Parang watching you and next to Normal, like,
That's true.
Fresh out of Philippines Got Talent. But then,
totoo yun. Pero yun nga, konti lang yung katulad nyo na pwede mag-shift din to Filipino.
Yeah.
Konti lang kayong pwedeng tumawid sa ganyan eh.
Pero this is my first, I think my first pure Tagalog musical.
Right.
Kasi, because I did kung paano ako naging leading lady. Pero
I saw that.
May English cast, then may Tagalog cast.
Yes.
And then, so kami, puro English yung lines namin.
Right.
And then,
Ansama ka doon.
yeah, Ansam, oh my gosh, Ansam si Gab sa time na yun. And she was like, yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, when I saw her inside show, I said, wow, how this, like, the
what
growth,
she can do, no, the range that she can
the
do.
range.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then I also,
we're biased, sorry.
no, but she's
I know.
no,
Yeah.
literally, I just have to say, I was showing all of the parang the press stuff to my friends from like Pep Squad, from UP Pep,
Yes.
like, and then they were watching and they said, grabe yung Gab, no? She's magnetic.
Wow.
Like,
She
you
is,
are
she is. But
drawn
Are you talking
to
about me?
her.
We're talking about you.
Ay,
She needs lang definitive roles. But ikaw talaga yung range mo rin, Markki.
Yeah,
Sobrang
Markki.
yan, no?
yun. And
From
then
babae to leading man. Hello?
actually, that's what I was thinking. This year has been crazy because like I started off with Bortang, end of the world, to drag
Yung
queen.
pagkakasabi niya ng Borta, no? Kailangan i-correct ni Direk Pat. Pag Tagalog mo na, it's more the vowel sounding.
Borta.
Oo. Pag
Roll the R.
English, mas consonant. So,
Pero coming into rehearsals, yung pinaka-condition talaga si Markki. Kasi siya yung hindi talaga tumigil in terms of acting and
problem,
singing.
no?
So
Nabanat yung range. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Like, I guess before it took me so long to memorize lines. Nowadays, like, because I guess I have to memorize them within minutes.
That's true.
During
That's
taping, like, I will look at the script for a few minutes and then just it'll seep in faster, which I never thought could happen.
Anong nabago, Markki? Anong nabago? Parang you understand it better, or yung context?
It's
May context clues?
I guess it's understanding the character more. Because I do have ADHD, and it's a learning disability.
Okay.
So I used to use that as a crutch. It used to be something that because it was so hard for me to learn certain things. But then when you realize that you love it so much, it shifts. It turns into something more of that will help me, because it's faster now for me to memorize because I love what I'm doing.
That's true.
And it also, another thing was in terms of Tagalog, because before I don't know why I would stop myself from speaking because I thought that, hey, I not as good as everyone else. I went to an international school, but then nowadays I realized, I mean, I did Jersey Boys and I learned the Jersey accent, and then I did Angels in America and I learned this Welsh accent. Tagalog, certain Tagalog phrases can be done in a form of an accent if it's it is an accent to a certain extent. So once that clicked, I was like, oh my gosh, I mean that's one of the things that I'm good at, accents. Then maybe if I listen to it over and over again, baka mag-stick. And
it
worked. It has worked. Yeah.
So siya yung nasa kondisyon, sabi nga ni Gab. But now, let's talk about the music. Myke, I asked Pat kanina, paano nag-iba? Kasi, di ba, parang there should be a total change since you're at the helm now.
Well, plain simple, binigay ko lang aking puso at oras.
No, but how different will it sound? Will we have more songs na pwedeng kantahin afterwards? Kasi yun yung sinasabi ko sa'yo, the first time
Atin na natin, kasi yung maraming ibang tao kinakanta na nila tas na walang paalam. Charot!
Hindi pero maganda rin yun na tipong merong hinaham na kanta paglabas ng theater, kasi yun yung gusto natin sana.
From the start naman, ano na siya infectious na siya from ikaw to ang sabi nila. So it's an easy work for me because I love the songs and it's just a matter of reinterpretation it for this narrative, this new narrative.
Correct. At palalabasin lang talaga yung ganda ng mga kanta kasi magaganda talaga yung kanta.
And palabasin lang yung ganda ng boses ng bawat isa sa cast.
So meaning itinama mo lang yung ganong range? Kasi hahanapin yung saan maganda yung timbre ng boses ng bawat isa. So,
yes.
Well, let's talk about your teammates now. So, Markki, saan maganda yung boses? Nagagwapo ba yung kanta because of Markki singing it?
He has this really hunting falsetto. Alam mo yun, that
Yes,
tone
yes.
na,
Markki
di
has
ba,
that.
he's a natural baritone, but pagka the moment he hits that really high
Yes.
falsettos, it's there. It's space.
The
It's
early Martin Rivera, di ba? Na pag nag-falsetto si Martin, parang may laman pa din.
parang lumutang ka na sa para lumampas ka na sa stratosphere, parang gano'n.
That's true. How about Gab? Pinahirapan mo ba siya dito?
Hindi ko naman alam, pero as far as I remember, 2018 pinapakailaman ko na siya.
Ako, actually,
Ang
nung
sabi ni
2018
Ayan.
pa lang, kami na lang nag-uusap, tapos may mga try mo to. Tapos parang ko, sige.
And it always works.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
Parang, kasi si Myke, the way he works din kasi, what I always tell people, that's why his music is always so captivating. It's because it's always narrative driven.
That's
So,
true.
every
That's
single thing he does, kung may notes man siya sa tao or what, it's always contributing to the story. Kaya
That's true.
nakakadagdag siya at nakakalaki siya ng kwento.
That's true.
Yeah.
True.
Hindi siya yung
Because-
ayaw niya yung maganda lang, ayaw niya yung
That's true.
ayaw niya ng kulot na walang ibig
And
sabihin.
since si Gabi is my resident
Muse.
vocal painter
Okay.
too, because we sometimes
natawa si-
we craft a vocal harmony together or counterpoints. So ayun, I think we have this. That's our love language.
So walang manggugulo. Huwag lang manggugulo, aawayin ko.
Sorry, from an external
yes, Markki, go.
an external part, an external side. I've
Yes.
worked with multiple music directors. Love each and every single one of their styles.
Yes.
But Myke is someone to keep going back to, because what he
That's
does
true.
is he makes you sound good.
Yeah.
Like
That's
it's
true.
not about, like, there's some directors who are like, I'll push this guy, I'll make him,
Yeah.
I'll give him, like, he'll do all these acrobatics or whatever. And then sometimes after a few shows, mapapagod yung voice, and then
Totoo
Kasi
yun.
hindi naman yun yung
come out as nicely anymore, because it is the
Tama.
peak. It is that
That's
point.
true. That's
But
true.
Myke knows exactly for each of the actors how to push them the right way without
Yeah.
compromising integrity during the show.
Galing.
Si Ma-
I find fabulous.
Si Myke
It's
kasi
special.
works with your
Yeah, go.
strengths eh.
Yeah.
Yes,
Ako,
he does.
ganun ko talaga nakikita si Myke
And invest.
working with him.
And I invest on their weakness too.
less on their weaknesses. But then tama ka, no, Markki, parang at least alam niya yung end goal.
Yeah.
Kasi ba talagang okay, bravo the performance, but wala ka ng boses the next day.
Exactly.
So yeah, so at least merong trajectory. Yes, Pat, you're
Ako naman, kami ni William, we've created the songs, no?
Mhm.
So, and bit namin ito for the past more than a decade, no?
Mhm.
And when now we get to, siguro through age then, we get to, we are clearer now with what we want to say or what to happen with
Yes.
with the musicality of it. And hearing it being translated through the arrangement ni Myke.
And
naiyak kami.
napanood ko rin yung 2011. So I deeply considered that 2011 version going.
As an inspiration.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yung mga pinagdaanan niyang versions.
As a take-off point. Imagine even Arete as a history now.
Yeah.
Di ba? Parang ang daming pinagdaanan nitong play na to. Na pag binalikan mo, ang daming subtext, ang daming pwedeng matutunan. So, excite people more. Gab, pag pinanood nila itong version, 2022 version ng Mula sa Buwan, ano yung takeaway ng mga tao? Anong gusto mong maramdaman nila or matutunan nila?
Ako, ang dami, no? So parang my brain, nung sinabi mo, when you asked me palang, ano takeaway? Yung my brain exploded internally. Kasi parang, there's just so much that you can get from the story. And it's not just that you're going to cry or you're going to laugh or you're going to fall in love. But really, you're going to I don't know, ako parang feeling ko, you're just going to reconnect with yourself and you're going to go
That's
inside
true.
and kind of realize that I'm here, I'm alive, and I can be who I am and be happy for it. And parang no matter who you are, no matter what age you are, no matter where you are in this world or like what you're going through, babalik ka lang sa tanghalan at mapapanood mo yung kwento and you're just going to feel home, like you're at home. You know what I mean? Yung parang you're gonna feel like you're coming home and you're gonna feel na even if you don't know anybody or even you're gonna feel safe. I don't know. I feel like that's the kind of story that Mula sa Buwan. It's para siyang mahigpit na yakap. Parang
Ang
gano'n.
ganda. Ang ganda nun. Kasi parang, marami tayong lungkot na hindi natin may iyak.
Yes,
Hindi ba? At
exactly.
this point, that we only need that safe space. Tama ka doon.
And I think kasi coming out also of this pandemic and then coming back to the theater, everybody went through a collective trauma. And diba, post-pandemic, parang all of us are going through, like, iba-iba yung pinagdadaanan natin, pero we all went through this collective trauma together. Na coming to Mula sa Buwan, you're going to kind of see the joy, the pain, the sorrow of everyone and feel that you can connect to this person and feel that you're not alone.
Galing. The collective yakap, the group hug.
Yeah.
Fee, ano yung danas mo nito and anong takeaway na gusto mong maramdaman at matutunan ng mga tao?
I agree with what Gab said. Lahat tayo ang dami nating pinagdaanan nitong pandemya and akala natin na yung home that we know, that physical home, nakulong tayo doon. So even that concept of home was, alam mo yon, was questioned eh. Kinwestiyon natin, hindi natin alam kasi nakakulong ka doon, hindi ka makalabas. So parang for me ang mas malinaw sa akin, like while watching the rehearsals and all and realizing everything nung ginagawa namin itong version na to, is it really forces you to define what is home for you. It can be a hug, friendship, it can be kung ano yung pinaglalaban mo, dahil marami tayong pinaglalaban, pero ano yung pinaglalaban mo? Does it make you feel at home? Is it just standing there and looking to that person who you truly love? Is it that presence or lack of presence of hope? Ano talaga yon? I think this version really forces us to define and really know what is home for us. It can be the moon, it can be the stars. Ano talaga yon? Kasi importanteng ma-define mo yun para sa sarili mo, because it gives you peace and it gives you hope and the energy to move forward. Kasi kung wala yun, para saan pa't nabubuhay ka kung wala yung tinatawag mong tahanan? Kasi lahat ng ginagawa mo ay para dun sa tahanan na yun na ikaw lang ang nakakaalam at ikaw lang ang mag-define.
Ang galing, no? Parang yan yung gusto nating mailabas coming from the pandemic. Coming from everything that we went through. Myke, ikaw.
I don't want to preempt anything, but upon getting the latest revision of the last scene.
Meron na naman ba? Okay.
No, I mean, the latest revision of the final scene, the monologue. Just, parang upon reading it, it's like telling us to be better people in this small piece of matter called planet Earth, and considering all the cosmic energy around us, to be united with them, and alam mo yun. And ang hirap niyang, syempre hindi ko pa memorize, and upon reading it, that long and brief and swift monologue, mahirap siyang basahin, mahirap gamitin yung muscle na yon to say all those words, powerful words, So, yun lang ang puhunan namin talaga, yung words na nagmamatter. And we want to share that to the audience.
Totoo yan.
We all need powerful words to change this messy world.
And here's someone who's lived by his words, who spew words every day. Pero yun nga, it's really breaking through the noise, di ba, Markki also?
Yeah, it's very important. And what I've taken from this run, which has allowed me to really show my emotions after a long period of time, where because it's on a daily, and you feel these emotions every single time. It's just such a stark difference between the two acts. That what I realized is, I like to quote, marunong pa rin tayong magmahal. Everyone has the ability to love. Even if you are jaded, even after every relationship or every disaster that's happened around you that has come falling apart, that you feel like you can no longer love again, there is always that glimmer of light that tells you, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time to trust again. Maybe it's time to fall in love again with not just a person, maybe a family member that you lost contact with, maybe a certain diaspora or a cause. But in the end of the day, there's always love. And you can go back to that, and in its purest form, love is such a beautiful thing. And it just shows that for me, for example, I do not believe that people are born evil.
Yeah.
So it's just something that's been thrust upon them. But like, it's just finding a way to find that common ground and trying to find a way to get past our differences and move towards a more beautiful, peaceful, loving future.
You know, this guy has been so hurt, no? Yung pinanggagawin niya talaga. So kasi, well, we've talked about love and defiance, di ba? Pero sabi ko nga, summing it up, parang here in this play, we're all wounded healers. Ito, kitang-kita sa sinabi mo, Markki, na yun nga, tipong sobrang kang nasaktan, and in your press interviews, di ba, sabi mo, naghahanap ka ng sana masaya ka naman. Sana may relationship that would make you happy again.
Yes. And it's not necessarily just a singular partner. It's also talking about just
pero kasama na rin yun, Markki, yun ang hinanap mo sa press interview mo eh.
Yeah. Maybe, who knows in the future? Who knows? But
nako, yun the jaded part of it, yung in the future.
Or who knows, maybe right now. I'm just kidding.
Ayan!
Pang-radyo naman yan. Pang-radyo yan. Pang-radyo.
One day, lalabas lang yan. And everyone's like, what? But in the end of the day, in the end of the day, love is the key.
No, but I want to pursue that. Anong yung sa level ng love na pwede mong natutunan for yourself, no? Dun sa Mula sa Buwan. Kasi sabi nga, it's a play about love and defiance. So, on that love part, oo nga, na tayo capable of loving, capable na pwedeng mahalin. Ano pa? Parang, kasi di ba parang gumawa ka pa ng ganitong play kung wala namang tama sa'yo sa buhay mo, di ba?
Okay. Just looking back at especially this past 2 years,
turbulent years for you, huh?
Yeah, they've been quite good. They've been good to me. But they've also been, in terms of my family life, a little bit sad also, because especially during my previous show, My Delivery Girl, during that time my previous grandmother passed, and I wasn't able to be there to see her while that was happening. I was focused on work, and I wasn't able to really just be in that moment and love and be with her. And because of that, it really just allowed me to realize that, hey, life is short.
That's true.
Life is not just about the achievements and doing everything that we love to do in our lives. Life is about finding a way to give back and go back to the people that matter. to you and people who have shaped you. And what's fantastic about this particular play, which I watched in 2018 as well, is I could not stop crying.
That's true.
Because it resonated with me so much, and everyone around me. I looked to my left, they were in tears. I looked to my right, they were just having a moment. And
at
because
Markki,
of,
no, hindi yung maingay. Correct, hindi maingay na iyak.
it's not, it's just in
maingay
their
na play.
own,
That's
it's in
true.
their own little world.
That's
And the last time I saw something as beautiful as this in terms of how raw and emotional the people were in the audience was Next to Normal, which was 12 years ago.
That's true.
And something that has been able to
That's true.
to really touch every single person in the audience like that. I wanted to be able to be part of it. Like once I got the call from Gab to ask if I wanted to audition for this show, I was like, you know what? I have to audition, even if I already planned my trip to Norway, even though I have other things. I was like, if we can find a way to make this work where I'm able to go over there and come back and still be able to get into the run of things. Perfect. And we were able to find that way. That's why we have such a long rehearsal process. I think it's partially my fault. And I'm so sorry for that. And thank you for understanding. But because they were able to understand that, now I'm here like, wow, I want to do the very best, to the best of my ability to create this wonderful show, not just for us, but for the entire community that's healing. And that
it just falls into place, no?
Yeah.
Si Mark, can I share? Si Mark, because it's so cute. After every run, he'll come to me and he'll be like, this show. Like, sobrang emotion. Parang, so lagi siyang ganun after every run. Parang, grabe, this show talaga.
And for that alone, di ba, pakita mo yung power ng theater. Parang, sabi nga ni Direk Pat, parang theater is the present. And ito na nga, parang we have to confront that, and then ang maganda, it becomes a present to us too. It's present to us. Na it's a gift to us too. So Gab, ikaw, you found love here, of course, but pero ibang klase rin to, ibang level na rin to, Gab, no? Kasi after din ang pinagdaanan mo, ng pamilya mo, after the political exercise, things have been kind of different, no? So, and it seems like parang we're slowly assimilating into a new normal, pero marami tayong hindi pa na-address, pero naiintindihan natin because of that understanding and that love, no? So, go through talk about your loving process at this point.
Well, I think ako naman, I've always been the type of person na parang tuloy lang. I mean, di ba? Parang kailangan nating tumuloy lang. No matter what is thrown at us, no matter what we go through. There's always, I'm the type of person kasi na I celebrate even the smallest joy.
That's true.
Di ba? Kasi parang mahirap na pag wala na tayong pinangahawakan. And so yun ang parang every day you kind of have to start small, especially when things get overwhelming. And even especially with what's happened the past months, parang alam mo yung I'm going towards a certain point. I mean, there were moments that I go towards a certain point na ayoko na siyang isipin. Kasi nga masakit. Or kasi, di ba, parang gusto mo na lang kalimutan or gusto mo na lang, you want to kind of ignore what's going on around you. But at the same time, sabi nga, di ba, pag namulat, hindi na pwedeng pumikit. Kaya parang no matter what, like if things get overwhelming, I go small. And then I start from there. Kasi also, with what everybody's been going through, we also have to be kind to ourselves. And kung if we push ourselves too much and we push ourselves over the edge, hindi siya worth it. Lalo na, di ba? So parang the past weeks maybe or the past months, parang compared to the past 2 years or the past 3 years, na syempre we're thinking about everything that's going on around us and we can't help it. But at the same time, we also must not forget to think about ourselves and to take care
self-love muna, no?
Yeah, we have to take care of ourselves. Otherwise, I realized that na parang the more na I go out, it's because I don't want to think about myself. It's because I don't want to, diba? And then I realized, hala, sobrang sakit na pala na nangyayari sa loob.
Totoo yan.
Na how
Totoo
are you
yan.
going to put pieces back together outside of you if inside
Totoo yan.
wala, you're shattered, right? So parang tama si Markki na parang this whole process also, it's a process of healing in a way. And it's again, from the collective trauma, this is the collective healing. And that's why more than ever, you kind of need those people and you need those safe spaces to hold on to. So,
ulit-ulit natin yung mga keywords na yan kasi totoo, habang inuulit natin at nagiging mantra natin, nakakagaling. Di ba?
Yes.
So, Myke, bago si Fee. Go.
No, I just like to share that in the process of putting up Mula sa Buwan and nursing again, Gab has been, that persistent voice to me to tell me na
may bagong career na siya as counselor, no?
No, but really yung love na yon to take a look at the people and the cast that we have right now, the heart space and the head space that we have.
That's true.
Kasi, kaya nga parang sabi ko, hindi kaya natin to ng 1 month rehearsals. No, we cannot. Di ba?
Ako talaga, pinaglaban ko talaga siya.
Oo. Kasi, directors, we have our tricks. No?
Yes.
We have our tricks because of time constraint. Kaya ko gawin to at ilabas to, but they might end up wounded.
That's true.
And mentioning the political exercise
yes.
that we've had, this collective experience that we've had, sabi ko, ang dami nating unaddressed pains. And it comes out in rehearsals. And I'm very thankful for Gab, for other cast members as well, that I'm learning, how to become a better practitioner and better human being as well.
Person, yeah, that's galing. Bagong career ka na, Gab. Myke.
If I may add,
okay, go. Okay.
If I may add, hindi, lang siguro also coming into all of this, the learnings lang din from the past years kasi parang I've discovered a new voice, I guess, in me na parang that I never used before. So parang with that, parang I feel like there's a certain responsibility also from an actor's perspective na ang daming pinaglalaban ng mga actor and mga theater actor, especially in the past years, na nawala yung industriya namin and nawala yung ano. So parang there's this certain kind of push, I guess, inside me na parang hindi ko na siya mapigil. So, ayun. Yun lang.
Nakaka-proud ka, tumatanda ka na rin.
I know, right?
Oh, Myke, has she be kind to you?
Yes.
She be kind to you? Yes.
In all levels. Bumait siya nung nagkaroon ng
Ano?
Bumait siya nung meron na siyang inaalaga ang pusa.
Extension ng goodness kasi, no? Ganun yun eh. No, pero yun, parang ako, we saw the so driven Gab. Pero iba, the nurturing Gab is different now, no?
The war has changed her. To a better fighter.
Oh, yun nga. No, but ikaw, Myke, anong realizations on love at this point?
On what? Sorry?
On love at this point, kasi everyone's talking about it, na wala nang pwedeng humadlang. Yeah. Kasi awayin ko rin ng mahadlang sa pagmamahal.
Sabi nga ni Ewan McGregor, love is a many splendid things. Love is like oxygen. So, ayun, love is simply living, and this production taught me how to live again.
Okay, tama naman yun.
Yeah, for the past pandemic, parang it was a constant struggle to survive. And upon shooting the music video, matatapos din. Yeah, with Markki.
Yes.
Diba? Parang it was our first music video release. Parang stepping on that stage again, parang ito nga pala yung first love ko, theater.
Puti.
And it was a realization. Nung sinushoot na kami, sorry, it was a personal moment na parang, nga pala, kasama nga pala ako sa play na to. It was a parang striking realization na kasama nga pala ako ton. I need to start living normally again. I mean,
Correct.
I need to be there presently, and upon reaching the launch for Mula sa Buwan in Samsung Theater. Oh, ibang realization again. Oh nga pala, kasama nga pala ako sa mundong ito.
Oo, correct. Kasi sometimes you're too cooped up thinking of the whole. Di ba? Of the big picture. Na
Yung nakita ko
nakakalimutan
na
mo
yung
yung
mga
sarili
audience,
mo.
yun nga, nabuo na yung love. As in, you have to stay in
Totoo
this world.
Totoo yun. Kasi, sabi, well, in the end, you cannot share what you don't have.
And
Yun
I'm
naman talaga.
fortunate enough to share it with people I love the most.
Totoo yun. Sophie, kumusta naman? It was love that carried you through and made you stand there despite that inevitable fall.
Yung sinasabi kanina ni Markki na, alam mo yun, na parang being jaded and all. Well, a few months ago, nagkwento, hindi, but like a few months ago, I had,
magkakasama tayo dun, no? Hello.
Aside from the heartbreak that was given to us by the result of the election, I was also like mending my heart during that time. So I think kung ano yung the heart never forgets And I think kailangan ina-acknowledge yon na parang na hindi talaga siya katulad ng yung pag-apak sa entablado, laging merong tanong. Ang dami kong mga co-actors na not just with this production but other actor friends na tinanong na, am I still an actor if I'm not acting? Am I a theater actor if I'm not performing on stage? Ganyan. But again, hindi lang naman pain ang naaalala ng puso. But yung mga bagay na pinagdaanan niya. So, nung I agree with Myke, nung tumapak on stage, lahat kami parang, kaya mo pa ba to? O kaya ko pa ba to? But, you know, again, the heart never forgets and it really remembers. So pagdating mo doon, yeah, this is my playground. This used to be my playground and I'm here again. Nandito ako at gagawin ko to. And I think our common humanity should be acknowledging the pain and sitting with the pain and being comfortable with the pain. And katulad nga ng lagi sinasabi ni Pat every rehearsal, especially when we're doing Act 2, is to acknowledge and to put a name. You have to define the pain para mas maging okay, dahil ito yung sakit, pwede na kayong umupo at kasama nung sakit at okay, sige, gusto mo bang pag-usapan tong sakit na to? O sige, hindi natin pag-usapan pero magkatabi lang tayo. Okay. Kasi kapag hindi, dahil nga sa pandemya, ang dami nating hindi na pinansin because it's too hard. Yeah. Kahit pagkatapos ng eleksyon, pagkatapos ng eleksyon, dahil walang nangyari, diretso na ako sa trabaho ko, like to distract myself. But really, we're not doing anything for ourselves.
That's true.
We're distracting ourselves is also in a way like destroying parts of ourselves. But to define it and to acknowledge that pain. Because again, yun nga the heart never forgets. So lalabas at lalabas siya. So kailangan mong i-address siya. Hindi ka agad-agad. Kaya nga, i-define mo muna and then let it flow. Because ang daming mga moments sa play na ito na alam ni Gab yan, na bigla na lang talaga akong naiiyak. Because again, there are triggers.
Parang buhay.
Na dati hindi. Sa play na to. Alam ko naman pala play na to. Ganyan.
Sophie, paki-invite yung mga tao in your convincing way sa isang pambansang therapy ng tinatawag nating Mula sa Buwan. It's supposed to be a reunion.
It is. But gusto ko po kayong imbitahan. It's not a therapy, but it's really coming home and it's really defining what your heart truly wants. At yan po ang Mula sa Buwan. It is acknowledging your pain. It is being okay with that pain and being able to share that pain to those people who will appreciate and who will be
Ganda.
okay with you experiencing that pain. Because
Ang
that
ganda.
collective pain is also our collective survival. And if we acknowledge that collective survival, then we'll be able to win every war and to triumph over anything that we want. And that is Mula sa Buwan for all of us. And it's going to come back August 26 to September 11 at the Samsung Performing Arts Theater. Simulan po natin ulit. Gawin nating bahay ang Samsung. Magsimula ulit tayo ng mga bagong danas. Magsimula ulit tayo ng mga bagong experience. Magsimula tayo ng mga bagong pag-ibig na iiwanan natin, na palalaguin natin at i-share natin sa isa't isa.
Sinabi mo yan, ha? Magsisimula ka ng bagong pag-ibig. Anyway, so, wounded healers we all are, Markki. Can you invite the people? You've gone through a lot too, and we feel you. So, yun.
Yes, everyone, please get ready to love again. This is going to be such a special treat for each and every single one of us. Let's realize once and for all that we are not jaded and that we're able to
And
love.
for Markki to say that, ha? Bago yan, ha?
Yes, I've changed. Hindi lang bagong Maximo, bagong Christian.
Totoo yan. Kasi Markki, pag nakainom ka, yung sinasabi mo palagi na jaded na, ganyan lang talaga yung mga tao. Pero ito iba na.
Pero parang Gab, Myke, parang hindi na. Watching the love that unfolds between them and after our little
That's
double
true.
date. Parang
And let
okay
it
na
happen
parang.
to you too. Let it happen to you too. At least you're
Yes.
open now.
And
Myke,
of course,
go.
watch it August 26 to September 11 at the Samsung Performing Arts Theater at Circuit Makati. And for tickets, go to mulasabuan.com/tickets. Again, that's mulasabuan.com/tickets. Or you can contact me on my IG page because I bought a few tickets on the 4th of
Yay!
September. And this is for the community, the hard of
Yeah.
hearing.
That's
deaf community.
nice.
All on the Lodge if you would like to check that out. They have sign language professionals as well as captions. So for English speakers,
English, yeah.
if you do not understand
Galing.
Tagalog, you can still watch the play because you can watch our show. Oh, well,
What
the one
date?
that I bought on this is
Galing.
September 4 at
September
7:30.
4.
Yes.
At sa IG kasi ni
contact me.
Markki, marami siyang mga giveaways. So,
Ayan.
Yes.
Follow.
Markki Stroem, MARKKISTROEM. So send me a message if you need tickets.
Myke, ikaw naman, go invite the people. Ito
Um,
na naman yung labor of love mo.
Iniimbitahan ko lahat ng mga nag-iisa sa buwan na manood.
Kay
Na
full
manood.
moon lang yan, kay
Ang-
half moon at first quarter.
Huwag kayong mangambang manood mag-isa dahil magsasama-sama tayong 1,500 strong sa loob ng teatro. Magsama-sama tayong mag-isa. 'Di ba?
Na nakamask.
Yes.
Na nakamask habang pinapanood. Yes, Gab. Please, your pitch for this play that has become so personal also to you. A personal healing space too.
Yes, definitely. We are so excited to welcome everybody back home to the theater after over 2 years of just talking about it. After over 2 years of just
Of
talking
being on
about
boxes.
being a theater actor. Marami akong nakwento at marami akong na-share bilang taga-teatro. Pero finally, let us show you what it's like being a theater actor and what it's like to tell stories on stage. Sabay-sabay tayong tumawa, sabay-sabay tayong umiyak, at sabay-sabay tayong
Magmahal ulit.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly. August 26 to September 11 sa Samsung Performing Arts Theater in Circuit Makati. So excited.
Ang ganda lang. Direk, your last words. Let's start promoting this after this. Kailangan talaga.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. Dear wounded dreamers, please watch Mula sa Buwan because now it is a play that has more love, but at the same time,
That's true.
it has more pain, no? Not because we want you to cry or to be hurt, but because now it is a play that asks all of us to confront all of our hurt and most importantly, to face our truths. So come to Mula sa Buwan, sa iyong pagtangis, hindi ka nag-iisa, kasama mo ang komunidad ng teatro, kasama mo ang komunidad na matatawag mong tanghalan. You're welcome here. All fools, misfits, and dreamers, we can hope again. Again, it's August 26 to September 11 at the Samsung Performing Arts Theater, Circuit Makati. You can get your tickets mula sa buwan.com/tickets or through Markki dyan.
Ang galing lang. Ang galing lang. Pinili ko talaga yung mga kakausapin ko, sabi ko kay Pat, yung mga taong extension ng pagmamahal natin at kabutihan natin. So parang, yun nga, parang there's so much love in the way you're bringing this play to us, to the audience. At for sure, mararamdaman natin yun. At kailangan mas maramdaman pa ng mas maraming tao ng ating buong bansa. So see you on the 26th and beyond. So, maraming salamat, mahal ko kayo. Mula at pagkatapos at beyond the Buwan. So, kita-kita tayo on the 26th. Maraming salamat.
Kita sa Buwan!
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I'm watching Joseph the Dreamer later.
Yay!
Di kailanman mapipigilan pagbuhos ng ulan. Ang buhay sadyang ganyan.
At kaya ng papago-pagong pag-ihip ng hangin. Lahat ay lilipas at magsasalita.
Huwag kang mabahala, huwag mataranta. Hindi kailangan ang mag-alilangan pa.
Isipin mo laging nandito lamang ang aking balikat, sa'yo'y nakaabang.
Asahan mo, hindi ka iiwan sa mundo. Lahat may hangganan, asahan mo. Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sang tawag mo
Tuwing nagdidilim ang langit, di ba't nagpapakita ang buwan? Hanggang mag-umaga na naman.
Tara't hintayin na natin magsikat ng iyong araw. Hanggang sa magliwanag muli ang lahat. Asahan mo, hindi ka iiwan sa mundo. Lahat may hangganan, asahan mo. Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sa tawag mo, asahan mo, hindi ka iiwan sa mundo. Lahat may hangganan, asahan mo. Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sang tawag mo sang tawag mula.
Mga katipuneros, it's time to level up! Your top variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo-katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo-katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo-katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 katipunan, radyo, katipunan, radyo, katipunan, radyo, 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 katipunan, radyo, 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 katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo, 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 katipunan, radyo, 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 katipunan, radyo, radyo, katipunan, radyo, katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugod, todo sa kayon, tulong at tulong. Lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 katipunan, radyo, 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 katipunan, radyo, radyo, katipunan, radyo, katipunan, radyo, 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 katipunan, radyo, katipunan.
Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments?